Angelique, last caller, you're on with Dannii Minogue. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Hello, how
Hi.
you going?
Very good.
Good.
That's good. So, Dannii, I do remember when you were interviewed on the Ardone show.
Yeah.
It was revealed that a journalist blackmailed you into saying you were HIV positive.
Yeah.
How did you
What
go
the
about
hell?
it?
What? You haven't heard that
I have
story?
never heard that story.
No, I haven't heard that.
Oh, God.
My
Okay,
God,
I'll
never.
try and recap it really quickly so that we can get back to the call. But I'm in London. This is before phone hacking scandal came out.
Yeah.
But I'd always said to my friends, I feel like I'm being watched and followed all the time.
Yeah.
I was working with a charity, an AIDS charity called the Terence Higgins Trust.
Right.
And we were doing a lot of work educating kids on how you contract AIDS, what's on offer now if you get it, like how do you live with it, what's your survival rate, all of that kind of stuff.
All nice
to have
helpful
the
stuff.
facts.
Yeah, of course.
I come home one day and I go to the security desk and they're like, there's a bunch of flowers for you. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's like not my birthday. It's nothing special going on.
Yeah.
And there was a note attached to it from a big daily newspaper saying, we are running a story tomorrow saying you're HIV positive. We have very good information that you are. So I literally, my hands were shaking. I thought, this is the weirdest. This cannot be true.
Yeah, and how can they do
Punked
that?
was around then. Punked was around then. But even that, I thought,
Too much.
they wouldn't
Oh, right.
say
They wouldn't say
something
that.
like
Yeah.
that. It's just, it was too bizarre. So get on the phone, call my manager, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, yeah, good. I said, are you sitting down? And then I said, okay, this is the letter we've got, and I am not HIV positive, but maybe my work with Terence Higgins Trust is like made someone think.
Yeah.
Can you please just contact them, clear it up? Yeah, sure, I'll call you back. She calls me back and says, no, they're running with it because they said that the information they have is better authority than you.
Oh.
And I said, no, call them back again. So we had to go through the whole thing again. I am sitting at home waiting, just like, do I call my parents now? Do I call them later? Wait for her. I don't want to be on the phone.
So they
She
were
calls-
just going to dismiss the fact that you said it wasn't correct.
Yeah.
And we're going to run it anyway.
This is really pre-social media, so I had no voice
Yeah,
to
right.
have my say at all. And I was just so confused, and she called back and she said, no, they're running it.
Ugh.
And there's
They wanted the sensational headline.
there's nothing you can do about it. And I said, so they don't believe me that I'm not. So I got on the phone and this brings back so many weird feelings. And I called my doctor. I have the best doctor there in London. I said, I'm coming over now. That's all I said.
Yeah.
I'm coming over now. And he's like, okay. So I walk in. He said, what is it? And I said, in a few hours, it's the printing machine will be going, and this is what they're printing, and there's only one way I can stop it. How fast can you turn around a blood test?
Sure.
Put out my arm and just sat there, just like shaking, and he's taking the blood and then delivered the HIV negative onto the paper's desk and said, you never had any authority on anything. This has come in the last hour.
Wow.
And that's the only way we stopped it because there
That's a
was
terrifying
no
feeling,
social
though.
media. And at that point, when something goes in the press, it would just go worldwide.
Yeah, of course.
Then the next call was to my parents, like, I've got the form. But I was kind of still thinking, are they still going to run it?
Yeah.
And
You
then
wouldn't
say, because media can sometimes say, oh, sorry, we got the details wrong, or we didn't receive it. So there was still that whole night to go before the next morning.
But that must have made you feel
it didn't run
But
terrifying.
delivered with a bunch of flowers. So now every time I receive flowers, I'm like,
You're
oh,
scarred.
scarred.
You're
Who's the card from? So now I'm so
wow.
sorry we've got a caller on the line waiting, but
So,
she's still
Angelique,
waiting with a question.
what did you
Sorry.
want to know?
You're right. Pardon?
Oh,
Yeah,
the blackmail part of it.
So, yes, you know the story. Did you have a question about that?
No, that's pretty much my
It's
question.
answered
how
it.
it
Okay.
dealt
So you-
with and that was my thing. Like, maybe just get a blood test and prove to them.
Oh, yeah,
like,
exactly what she did.
That's
But
what I
that's
had
it
to
was.
do.
What people need to know, and this, like, back then, you're right, before social media, a lot of people didn't have a voice. But this is the sort of shenanigans a lot of the media still to this day get up to. They make up stories. They make up a source close to the person. Like, they don't even really have facts
And the problem is back
about
then,
anything.
it sticks. So you know,
Yeah.
the next day you could have gone on a morning show that morning and said, no, I'm not HIV positive. Then there'd be another story. Dannii denies she's HIV positive.
Yeah.
And that stuff sticks around. You know, it never goes away. And I guess that in one way, that's where social media is a blessing. I know it has its negative connotations, but so good that people now have an instant platform
For
to
me,
get on
I
the front
found
foot.
it completely positive, and like fans of mine have found each other on social media. They've met up. They've now got friendships that have been going 7+ years.
Wow.
And then sometimes, like, I'll get these group, and then I'll say, okay, come down to my show. And I've become friends with them because we've got
how
this whole like
nice.
little chat
Yeah.
group going.
Yeah.
I've only found it to be positive. You just got to have your boundaries, like Kitty
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
learnt already. What you find acceptable, or what if you don't like something on someone else's feed, don't follow it. Don't look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That
I
reminds
think
me
that
when-
the next generation will have a completely different perspective. But for me, it was my saviour.
And this reminded me, remember when someone was saying that you were a coke whore back in the day, Jackie?
Yeah, that was another rumour.
Jackie had never had cocaine. I'm yelling out, I'm the coke whore.
I know.
That's me.
It's like, how has this rumour gotten onto me?
By association.
I know.
Hey, look, you got stories. We could have you live here for about 9 years. You'd never run out of amazing stories. I can't wait to see The Masked Singer. Congratulations on the petite range. Go and check it out at Target. Maybe you've just learnt yourself that, hey, you fit in the petite category. I didn't realise it was a
Yeah.
height thing, not a waist size thing.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So
Thank you
incredible
so much
stuff.
for helping me get that message across.
we'll
Yeah,
keep
it's great.
Is Jackie petite?
No,
No,
I'm not sure. I don't know.
The funny thing is, my manager is petite. She's 5'5", but she's petite on her top half. So from the waist up and the length of her arms, but she's got these gorgeous long legs. That's like Barbie doll proportions.
What the hell is that? I
Right.
can't even imagine what she looks like. She's got the big legs and the petite. But you're different on the top and bottom, right, Jackie?
Yeah, I think, well, a lot of us are.
I think you're
guess.
petite in the length of your body,
Yes.
but not the width of your shoulders or your
Right.
arms.
Yeah,
And what
that's
about her
right.
bosoms? What do you think of her bosoms? Have you seen them under
Yeah, I
restraint?
have. I got a really good close-up.
What are you
the other
talking
day.
about? She's got them out in
Not
the show?
that she whipped them out or she was standing there naked, but she had a dress on that
Right.
was...
Big booby?
Could
It
see
was
the
showing.
boobies. Good to see. Yeah, yeah.
I actually didn't realise they
Did
were
you
that.
see, have you seen Danny's boobies, Jackie?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen her boobies. Not full, but I've seen them. Yeah.
Quite a lot
you're
on
getting
the
them
show
out.
right
Okay.
now.
Okay, fair enough. There we go. We've all seen
We're not
them now.
afraid to show our boobs, are we, Danny?
No.
It's only a little bit.
Well,
only a
I
little
appreciate
bit.
that, ladies. Thank you
Yeah.
for the boobies and the chat and the target.
Kitty won't talk to me now when
No.
she comes in
Oh.
to be...
Bad
Yeah,
influence.
yeah. I don't like that sexy friend of yours, Mummy.
Yeah.
Dannii
at all.
Minogue, always a pleasure. Thanks for
Thanks,
coming
Dannii.
in.